Violence flared up across Mozambique in early October, following an announcement that the candidate of the long-time ruling Frelimo party had won a presidential election by a significant majority. Straight away, the opposition cried foul, claiming the poll had been rigged in favor of Daniel Chapo. The opposition leader Venancio Mondlane, who alleged he was the rightful winner, told his supporters to get on the streets to protest. For weeks, their demonstrations were met with often deadly force by the police. A local civil society monitoring group says more than 300 people have been killed in clashes since the October vote. Despite the protestations, late last month, a constitutional council decreed that Chapo had in fact won and that his inauguration will be on January 15th. In his first address as president, Chapo called for national unity, saying he will ensure social and political stability are his government's top priority.
Mozambique's future is in our hands. Today more than ever, we need unity, courage and determination. It won't be an easy journey, but we have to have full confidence in the strength of the Mozambican people, of our national unity, which is the secret of our success.
The post-election protests amount to the largest against the Frelimo party in Mozambique's history and have affected foreign businesses operating in the resource-rich southern African country of 35 million people. Reports say they have also disrupted cross-border trade and forced some people to flee to neighboring countries. The Frelimo party has ruled Mozambique since the end of the war against Portuguese colonial rule in 1975, clinging on throughout a 15-year civil war that killed 1 million people before a 1992 truce. Sharon Baranga, CGTN.
Well, to discuss these developments further and what Daniel Chapo's presidency could mean for Mozambique, we're joined by Sandile Sane, a political analyst in Muldersdrift, South Africa. Thank you for joining us, Sandile. With the inauguration behind us, what do you think it will take for Daniel Chapo to stabilize Mozambique? And we've seen that it has been rocked with protests since October. What do you think his first steps could be when he comes when he takes over?
Thank you so much. As now Chapo has taken power, so there is no question that there is a president in Mozambique now, and that president, meaning that Mondlane cannot be president. So that's the first thing. So the second thing is to say, what is a fair deal to settle political power so that the general population and Mondlane himself and Podemos agree that there is a fair sharing of power. That is the central question right now. Then the other issues of how do you get into the economy, which are central to this conflict, will come later. But right now, there must be a fair sharing of power.
And how do you see that unfolding, with him, and how do you see him dealing with the opposition candidate, Venancio Mondlane, when you talk about that power sharing possibility?
The power sharing possibility has been delayed up to now, but we are aware that the ruling Frelimo party and Daniel Chapo have opened the door, although naturally in negotiations, they've put Mondlane under pressure, to actually say, we will pressure you and you pressure us and we negotiate. So after this has been done, the inauguration has been done, then there needs to be clarity which seats are allocated, cabinet seats are allocated to the people who have been excluded economically since 1975. How do they get included into the economy? That cannot be solved within 5 days, but certainly new directions have to be found.
So Daniel Chapo has taken over power. He has been inaugurated. He is in office. He's vowed to unite this country. How do you think he's going to do this, considering the divisions that we have seen?
The settlement in Mozambique has got to be negotiated. As you probably have seen, only 2 heads of states from Africa have actually arrived to honor his inauguration. So, which means other African states do not fully recognize the presidency of Chapo. So he has got pressure to be able to say politically, there's a fair power sharing agreement. Economically, foreign interests, such as South African business interests, are able to operate freely. Movement of goods and movement of people is stabilized. Protests are stopped on fair and equitable terms, which can take the next 4 weeks, which can be done. So those are the critical steps that need to be taken before he even gets recognition from other African leaders, including the neighboring states.